From WOFR Schoolcraft, Michigan, I'm Jay Rudolph for the Community Bridge. Your life, your family, your community.
If you go to our website, KalamazooJailMinistry.org, you can watch a documentary we just put up about the past year of Kalamazoo Jail Ministry. And there's a lot of discussion about how shocking it is, how receptive people are to hearing the Lord's word, to remove the lust of the flesh and all the things about this dark culture that we live in. It's shocking how much people are just opened up to knowing Christ. And people that you'd never in a million years think that would have anything to do with Jesus know him, and you'll talk to them and they'll start tearing up just by reading a psalm or something.
In Hebrews 13, the Bible tells us, "Remember those who are in prison as though in prison with them, and those who are mistreated, since you also are in the body." This admonition is one that the Kalamazoo Jail Ministry truly takes to heart. In the Schoolcraft Kalamazoo region of Michigan, those who are in jail can find hope and help from a devoted group of staff and volunteers who serve with Kalamazoo Jail Ministry. Pastor Jeff Grupp is the founder and lead chaplain for the male inmates, and his wife Amy leads the ministry to female inmates. Jeff, could you tell us about the inmate population in your area and the importance of jail ministry?
Yes, thank you so much for having me on the show. The inmate population here in the Kalamazoo and Schoolcraft area is really largely one where people come into jail, they've had a drug problem, different kinds of crimes. Drugs are the main one, and they will come into the jail not thinking much about the Lord, not really knowing much about Jesus in many cases, and we'll get a hold of them and work with them and talk to them. We really like to become friends with them and fellowship with them and, serve them really. That could be bringing them a pair of socks. But then there's always a point where they want to talk about Jesus. And man, it really is amazing how these people feel the incredible need for the Lord. When you take all the pleasures of the flesh away from a person and just put them in a room with a Bible, it's amazing how much they can feel the call of the Lord. And that's really what we focus on every week. We talk to every single inmate in the jail, and we'll pray with them, talk to them, ask them if they have anything they need, anything they need to talk about, any questions they have about the Bible. Do they feel God's presence? Do they sense Him calling? When they pray, do they feel they're really talking to Him? I mean, we really go into the detailed questions like this, and we have a mountain of materials that we bring to them. Missionary books are big, Corey Ten Boom. Torches of Christ by Wormbrand, Heavenly Man by Brother Yoon. And we have theology books we bring to them. Everybody has a Bible. And we really, it's just a very hands-on ministry. We don't spend much time in our office, but it's just really serving these people at their greatest time of need and doing whatever we can to bring them the joy they never imagined, the joy of knowing Jesus. And it's very, very powerful and beautiful, to be honest, just with these people in this incredibly broken state. I'm just thinking of a couple of examples of me talking to men that are just really hurting here at this, this time of year, Christmas time, and just, come in the name of Jesus and hand them a Bible, read them a verse and say, you're not really all alone here in any way. I mean, God is here. If you feel you need Him and you want Him, maybe deep down you feel you love Him, and the inmates say, yeah, I really do. And then I've cleared out now myself. Now I'm away from the drugs. I'm away from the pornography. I'm away from all the horrible influences of the world, and I do feel God calling. We had a person tell us they were just coming out of a methamphetamine binge that brought them into jail. And as they were coming out of it, away from all the recovery of that, they could feel the Lord right away. So that's largely what we focus on. The Kalamazoo Jail Ministry had a very specific focus of wanting to help jail inmates when they're released from jail. Also, we're trying to end all homelessness, really, of any inmates that are released. And that requires a lot of coordination with area homes and halfway houses and shelters. And really, even in one case recently, we had a hospital that we had to work with to get an inmate transported to, because an inmate came into jail. So they were in about 2 years, and they developed multiple sclerosis, very bad. And we were able to locate a hospital that will take them for constant care. And this is an amazing situation because this inmate was in the jail for racism. The only case I've ever heard of this, and real serious crime. And the people that helped this inmate were Black. That's who I worked with at this hospital, and they knew the situation. And it was so amazing to see the kindness. I'm just talking about the Lord working in us, bringing kindness into my heart, into these people in the hospital, their hearts. And some of them weren't even believers. I was praying, saying, Lord, work in them. Let them overcome this, look past this, rise above all this racism, so we can help this person that really needs help, and let that person break down and know you and stop all this hate and so forth. And it all happened. There was a lot of celebration. People really moved in the jail, nurses, and a lot of people saw this. So what I'm saying this for is the jail ministry really is just a big place of celebration. A lot of times people think of it's just people that are screaming at us and wild animals in the jail. Sure, the people maybe are like that in the Hollywood movies, or maybe before they came to jail, they were like that. But when they get to the jail, they get straightened out. We work with them, like I said, every week, and it's just really hands-on care and just really guiding these people right to Christ. And it's very, very powerful, very fulfilling. When you do what Jesus did, he came to serve, not to be served. It's Matthew 20:28. When you have that imitation of Christ and act like him, it really brings the joy of the Lord, the mind of Christ in you. And I can see members of our team, sometimes we'll be on the jail floor for 4 hours and we come off the floor. We call it the Jesus high. We're just so filled with the Spirit. But so we're really trying to help with the homelessness issue. And in fact, we're getting 2 homes donated to the jail ministry next year. And specifically for bringing inmates to that would be homeless. And a lot of inmates are very, very steeped in worshiping Jesus. And a lot of times they'll get out and they'll really have their minds confused because they're going right back into the evil world. And to have a place to bring them, to say, hey, we've got a spot for you that'll keep you out of the lust of the world and all the evils of the culture. The first house we're going to have is going to be a farm. You can work on our farm. We'll have prayer time and Bible study every day. And you'll be outside of town in the forest, away from it all, so you can continue recovering. And also, we're starting a college in the jail next year. It's going to be called Kalamazoo Bible College. And we're going to invite these people to go to that school, and they can study ministry, and try to locate them jobs. So we have a lot of going on. We've got great need for donations and so forth. If anybody was interested in helping us, they could. But these are the things that it would be going for. Buying Bibles, buying missionary books for inmates. The Oswald Chambers, my almost for his highest, is the devotional we use in the jail. Every inmate has one. Buying things like that, buying maybe socks to help inmates, stay warm because, the cement floor, for example, in the jail, or also with maintenance for these houses that we're going to get. But our main thing in the Kalamazoo Jail Ministry is we have an email blast that we send out every week, and to just tell stories of what the Lord is doing in the jail. And the stories are unbelievable. Sometimes I think people are thinking, oh, here comes Jeff telling more stories about miracles from the jail, but it's really constant. When we're broken down and working as Jesus did, like it says in Jeremiah 33:3, he will reveal the secrets to us. We will know all things. And that's really what we see. I have a prayer room in my basement at home, and I can pray in that thing all night and, really feel the Lord's presence. But if I just go on that jail floor for a couple hours, I feel much closer to him. And that's what we really want to convey to people. We want to share all these stories to people all through Kalamazoo or anywhere else. We've got people in California and Sweden and so forth that read our email blast, because sometimes we think people wouldn't even really believe them. Just how the Lord is coming and revealing himself to these people. They're the poorest. They have nothing. They have a cement floor, a metal toilet, blanket, and the books and Bibles that we bring them. And so we're really, in the Kalamazoo Jail Ministry, wanting to make this an intellectual, monastic ministry that's just seeped in the presence of the Lord. We march up to those cells and say to those inmates, Jesus is here, right in that cell with you. Reach out to him. That is your hope. If you know him, you'll have more joy in this cement room than anybody does outside in that culture. And you won't even care where you're at after a while, when you know him. We tell them that the Lord will overcome all their pains. Psalm 34:6 says, deliver them from all their troubles. And the receptivity of jail inmates is absolutely unbelievable.
That is so good to hear. I appreciate the work you guys are doing, and I want to say thanks to my guest, Pastor Jeff Grupp, the founder and lead chaplain of Kalamazoo Jail Ministry of Kalamazoo, Michigan. Now, to find out more about them, you can visit the website that he mentioned, kalamazoojailministry.org. To find help in your area, reach out to them, and they would be pleased to provide assistance. This has been Community Bridge for Schoolcraft Michigan on WOFR and Family Radio.